Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be diving in.
Today we're plunging into some really profound materials from Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon. We're going to explore this fascinating idea that our natural state is, well, maybe supernatural.
Right.
And that we have this incredible sort of untapped potential to just shed limitations, reclaim a more multidimensional life.
Yeah.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to explore the mix of hard-brain science, ancient mystical traditions, the practical techniques, and some really inspiring real-world stories that Dr. Dispenza presents.
And what's really compelling, I think, is how he bridges these worlds. You know, ancient wisdom on one side, modern scientific proof on the other.
Exactly.
He's suggesting that what we think of as uncommon or supernatural, it's actually within reach. And he's documented, measurable biological changes. Pretty fast, too, sometimes in just days.
Okay, so what's the takeaway for you listening in? Get ready for maybe a shortcut to understanding that deep connection, mind, body, the universe,
Yeah.
and how you can actually use these ideas to consciously create a new reality.
Build a new future.
Let's start with a story that really sets the scene. It's the legend of Milarepa,
Ah, yes.
an 11th century Tibetan yogi. Came from privilege, but renounced it all after some tragic violence, retreated to the Himalayas.
Right, a classic figure.
And he famously showed this extraordinary potential by, well, apparently breaching the laws of physics. Like the stories say he could move through solid rock.
And that's such a powerful opener because Milarepa's story, it really makes you think about perception, about reality itself.
How so?
Well, his meditation taught him he was the rock, not separate, so the rock couldn't hold him.
Wow.
Imagine being his students. Seeing that, it forces you to question everything you thought was possible,
Yeah.
which makes us ask, are we today, stuck in similar limiting beliefs? Do these beliefs stop us seeing our own potential?
Dr. Dispenza definitely thinks so.
Yeah.
He suggests that the universe, our bodies, our lives, they exist the way they do because of consciousness, how we think about ourselves. And his goal is to provide the science, the proof from his workshops, showing that ordinary people, common people, can do uncommon things.
Right, not just gurus or monks.
Exactly. Transcending physical issues, creating new opportunities. He even mentioned seeing people reverse diseases that were thought to be, incurable, using his techniques.
That's the really provocative part.
Okay, let's unpack this with a really moving example from the book. Anna's story.
Ah, yes. Anna.
She went through terrible trauma after her husband's suicide. I mean, instantly her body reacted. Neck, shoulders stiffened, mind racing.
And that led to intense physical pain, mental stress, and then over time, just a cascade of health problems.
Severe stuff. Paralysis, depression, weakened immune system, ulcers,
Yeah.
eventually even cancer.
And what's so insightful there is the explanation of stress chemicals, how they push the body into survival mode.
Right, fight or flight.
Exactly. And in that state, the body literally can't tell the difference between the original trauma and just the memory of it.
So she was reliving it constantly.
Day after day, year after year, producing the same brain chemistry, the same body chemistry. It wires the past right into your nerves, stores the emotion in the body.
Wow.
That's how our past literally becomes our biology. And in that state, we become materialists, right? Defining reality only by what we sense, focused on matter, on time, the known.
That's a critical point. And it's not just about huge traumas like Anna's, is it?
No, not at all.
The book talks about habits, these automatic unconscious thoughts, behaviors,
The
emotions.
redundant sets, he calls them.
Right. If you're always thinking, choosing, acting the same way,
Yeah.
your body just becomes the mind of those programs.
It's like your body is dragging you, unconsciously usually, toward a future that just looks like your past. Same actions, same feelings.
Yeah.
Which brings us to a key question. How much space do we actually leave for the unknown, for something new? If our lives are so predictable, so routine.
Reinforcing the same circuits, the same old emotions.
Exactly. That predictability, Dispenza argues, severely limits our ability to create because there's just no room for the unknown if everything is well known.
So how did Anna get out of that cycle? It sounds so stuck.
Well, she heard Dr. Dispenza speak about neuroplasticity, about epigenetics.
The brain changing, genes switching on and off.
Right, and she had this huge realization. If she created her state through her own internal reaction...
And she could uncreate it.
Precisely. So she committed, meditating twice a day, pushing through all the doubt, the fear. Her doctor even warned her she was being naive, that she'd get worse.
Wow. That takes courage.
Definitely. Her focus was reprogramming her autonomic nervous system, that powerful unconscious control center.
Heart rate, digestion, stress.
All of it. She used a specific breathing technique to kind of liberate that stored emotional energy. Decades of it.
And then,
Then she reconditioned her body to a new mind, consciously choosing, feeling those heart-centered emotions of the future she wanted: gratitude, joy.
in the result,
Complete healing. Within about a year and 9 months. Cancer gone, other conditions gone, no markers in her blood tests.
that's incredible.
It really is. It shows neuroplasticity, epigenetics. It shows it happening, the brain reorganizing, genes changing based on her internal state.
And what's so compelling is that Dispenza backs this up with science, right? It's not just anecdotes.
Exactly. He cites things like the piano playing study.
Oh, yeah, where people just imagine playing.
And their brains develop new circuits, almost identical to the people who physically practice.
Or the muscle flexing studies, where just mentally rehearsing made their bodies change as if they'd done the exercise.
Same principle. By mentally rehearsing new intentions, but, and this is key, with elevated emotions.
Like gratitude, joy.
Yes. You prime your brain and body as if that future has already happened.
So the body starts to believe it's in a new environment.
Literally. It signals new genes, changes genetic expression. That's epigenetics right there. Our biology isn't fixed destiny.
And he sees this in workshops. People changing quickly.
Yeah. Significant epigenetic shifts, elevated emotions measured, sometimes in just a few days, often without any big external event triggering it. It's the internal work.
The book also mentions practical tools, like the mind movie and a kaleidoscope.
Right. Tools to help induce specific brainwave states, even with your eyes open.
Alpha and theta states.
Wow.
More receptive states.
Exactly. They help bypass your analytical mind. The kaleidoscope's visuals are hypnotic. The mind movie is immersive. It helps shift you from those busy beta waves.
On down to alpha, theta, where the subconscious is more accessible.
Precisely. It's like opening a door to your subconscious operating system. Makes you receptive to new programming without the usual conscious resistance, like installing new software directly.
So it's not just positive thinking.
No, it's about changing your state of being. Brainwaves, body chemistry.
There's that example of Glenn and Natalie. They use the mind movie daily.
Yeah, and achieved a $1 million business goal.
Yeah.
During a global economic crisis, no less.
And they actually made more than their goal.
An extra $250,000, apparently due to exchange rates. The complete opposite of what most people were experiencing.
Wow.
The core idea is simple, really. Where you put your attention, that's where your energy goes.
So stop investing energy in the known, the past-present reality.
And place it on your inner world, on that future you're creating. You free up energy, build your own electromagnetic signature in the quantum field.
It means becoming aware of where your attention is stuck, unconsciously.
And then consciously breaking those energetic ties, reclaiming your power.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit. Beyond the individual, the book talks about us being beings of light.
Literally, molecules bond by sharing light, sharing information through this invisible energy field.
In our cells, tissues, organs, they have these fields too.
Yes, and healthier cells actually emit more coherent biophotons, these tiny light particles. They seem to carry information, regulate things. More coherence means more organization, more life.
Which raises that question again. How does our consciousness influence all this, these biological systems?
Yeah. Well, the book describes 7 energy centers in the body, like mini brains almost, each with its own network of neurons, glands, hormones.
Chakras, essentially.
Related concepts, yes. And by consciously slowing our brainwaves in meditation, shifting from beta, focused outward, to alpha or theta, focused inward,
we can access the subconscious operating system, the autonomic nervous system.
And intentionally influence these energy centers, reprogram them.
He describes an ascension of energy through these centers.
Yeah. Like when you overcome some adversity, instead of suppressing that energy, it can rise. It might activate the 4th center, the heart.
Leading to genuine self-love, love for others.
Exactly. And as energy keeps moving up, it can open dormant parts of the brain, lift the veil of illusion, allow us to perceive more reality, beyond just our 5 senses.
There's a key distinction made about the lower 3 centers versus the higher ones.
Right. The lower 3 associated with sex, digestion, power are primarily about survival, kind of our selfish nature, he calls it.
And they consume energy.
When overused, yes, they can draw from that invisible field, shrink our overall energy, but elevated emotions, gratitude, compassion, They help us move beyond survival.
Towards more altruism, expanding our energy field.
Precisely.
A key practice for this is heart coherence, you mentioned.
This field of neurocardiology is fascinating. A heart has its own brain, basically. 40,000 neurons functioning independently.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And when you generate coherent heart rhythms through emotions like gratitude or appreciation,
It sends synchronizing signals up to the brain.
right, allowing us to access heart's intelligence. It creates alignment between heart and brain.
And we see this working from post-C studies, right? These aren't just theories.
Absolutely. Ginny, with the herniated discs from a car accident, constant pain.
She healed completely after a workshop, canceled her surgery.
Yes, and stayed pain-free. Or Daniel, with the electromagnetic hypersensitivity, overcame it after a meditation where he felt his brain light up, felt a beam of loving light.
Incredible. And Felicia, chronic eczema for 20 years.
Gone. After an intense meditation with ridiculously high gamma brainwaves, measured 190 standard deviations above normal, and pineal gland activation.
Okay, the pineal gland, that leads us into some really mystical territory.
It does. This tiny pinecone-shaped gland deep in the brain.
Secretes serotonin, melatonin.
Yeah,
But it's sensitive to all electromagnetic frequencies, not just visible light.
apparently so. And when it's activated, it can produce chemicals that literally change your perception of reality, open doors to altered states, heightened senses.
Dispenza shares some of his own experiences with this, doesn't he?
He does. Pretty profound stuff. Like a time his body fell asleep, but his mind stayed totally awake.
What happened?
Heightened senses, feeling this electric love, just being passionately in love with life itself. He talks about walking barefoot in the cold, but feeling intense joy, knowing that judging the cold would lessen that feeling of wholeness.
Realizing his internal energy was greater than the external conditions.
Exactly.
And then there's that really mind-bending account, seeing a tiny, glowing woman.
Yeah. And then seeing his present self washing dishes, feeling love, and remembering his past self feeling like he was being watched.
So his future self was influencing his present self.
That was his understanding, a collapse of linear time. He also had a past life vision being a tortured philosopher in ancient Greece or somewhere like that. Very vivid.
Wow.
And these ideas, they echo in ancient symbols, like the caduceus of Hermes.
The staff with two snakes and wings.
Often interpreted as energy rising up the spine, the two snakes, culminating at the pineal gland, the wings, the crown, leading to enlightenment, liberation.
So connecting ancient wisdom to modern physiology again.
Right.
He describes a specific breathing technique to activate the pineal gland.
Yes. A slow, steady breath, drawing energy up from the base of the spine, the perineum to the top of the head, coordinated with subtle internal muscle contractions.
Squeezing the gland's crystals, creating an electromagnetic field.
That's the idea. A field that can then pick up information from higher dimensions, translating it into imagery, into knowing. He stresses doing it slowly, steadily, not forcing it.
And the experiences people have, they go beyond normal senses.
Totally. Students report these full-on virtual sensory experiences during meditation. No external input, but they smell things, hear things, see vivid colors.
Feeling more real than real life.
That's what they say. Feeling stubble on their face, wind in their hair, when nothing is physically happening, suggests a really profound internal reality.
Okay, so taking this from the individual, let's go global. The book suggests we're all interconnected, electromagnetic beings.
Yes, fundamentally. The sun's energy, Earth's energy, all living things, deeply linked. Everything material is basically organized light and information in the quantum field.
So, if individuals can influence their reality, what about groups? Collective consciousness.
That's the big question. And there are studies, these peace-gathering projects.
Where groups meditate for peace, with no physical action.
Right. And they've measured significant results. Average reduction of over 70% in crime, warfare, terrorism in some cases.
Seriously.
One controlled experiment in Washington, D.C. showed a statistically significant drop in violent crime during the period the meditators were focused. It suggests collective coherence can impact the physical world.
That points to emergence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like fish schooling, birds flocking.
Exactly. The whole being greater than the sum of its parts. When a community comes together with coherent intention,
it can affect the Earth's electromagnetic field, the Schumann resonance.
It seems so, creating coherence where there was disorder. They've measured this in his workshops, too.
Measure the energy in the room increasing.
Consistently. Using sensitive equipment, individual coherent fields get stronger, they entrain, sync up, creating constructive interference.
Like waves adding up. Bigger wave, more energy.
Precisely. More energy available for collective healing, collective creation.
It's almost like we're biologically wired for this. Mirror neurons, for instance.
We mimic each other. Emotions are contagious.
So if we model peace, love, compassion, it can inspire others. Help them open their hearts, move beyond fear and survival.
That's the potential. Organically shifting the collective.
It sounds like humanity's going through an initiation.
A collective rite of passage, perhaps, toward a higher level of consciousness.
Moving from just surviving to actually thriving.
Recognizing our interconnectedness. Acting from love, from unity. Dispenza suggests this could be the biggest evolutionary leap we've ever made, and making things like war and fear seem, well, completely outdated.
Wow. Okay, this deep dive, it's really shown that the power to change everything, our health, our reality, maybe even the world, it's within us, in our consciousness.
From ancient yogis to modern brain scans, the message seems consistent. Your inner world shapes your outer world profoundly.
We've seen how breaking free from old beliefs, cultivating those elevated emotions, shifting our brainwaves, it can lead to real healing. Mystical experiences even, expanding what we thought was real.
Absolutely, going beyond the limitations of our physical senses.
And when individuals become coherent, that energy combines. It creates a collective field that can influence the world. So what does this mean for you listening right now?
Well, if everything already exists as potential in the quantum field, infinite frequencies, infinite information about everybody, every place, every time.
And your consciousness is the observer that collapses possibility into reality.
Then the question becomes, what specific future are you choosing? What reality are you observing into being for yourself and maybe for all of us right now?
That is a powerful thought to sit with. Remember, maybe the journey to the supernatural is really just a return to our natural, powerful state. Until next time, keep diving deep.